March 26, 2023. Okie. No bank confirmations yet, awaiting on call from banker, expect IT at any time from now forward. Watching for THE 2 p.m. update may be the key according to sources. We'll pass on more info as received. Keep grounded as this is still a fluid and ever-changing situation. Everyone just sit still for a little while longer. This was scheduled for today and still may happen, but tomorrow may be the day Intel changes day to day. I am privy to bank negotiations that transpired today on all our behalf. Details will be posted after we receive the notification of the RV being recognized in the USA. We can do nothing to expedite IT. This has progressed to the point of not being able to be stopped. Let me be very clear, this was supposed to occur today, so let's look forward to see what transpires tomorrow. Nader from the Mideast. It's good if something happened in the month of Ramadan. Why? Because it will give you more time to change your money instead of giving you 1 week, 2 weeks, 30 days. They will give you more than that. Why? Because they know in Ramadan the Muslims, they're not going to bring their money to the bank. They're not going to make any profit from that money. They know if they make a profit of that money, they're going to give it away. There will not be an RV without new currencies. If you see new currencies comes out, I'm not saying it's gonna come out soon. I'm not saying when, I'm saying if you see the new currency come out, exactly 12 days after that, there will be a new rate. They will not release the small category notes with no strong exchange rate. Sandy Ingram. The exchange rate has changed online, which is a big deal. It's now showing 1,310 to 1 US dollar. This means what the parliament voted on is now factual globally. Frank 26. Question: should we exchange one smaller 30 note first or our 50,000 dinar note first? It depends on how many dinars you have. If you have a lot, you have a lot of options. It depends on what you have, so I can't really answer that because we don't know what the variables are. Note: consult your financial advisor at the appropriate time to create an exchange plan suitable to your unique circumstances. Every day they're telling them more and more. They made another exchange rate change. And as we predicted it, it would happen before it takes them to an international float. Note: the official CBI rate is still listed as 1,310. Iraq boots on the ground report, Firefly. They have Economist, CBI and Parliament Finance all on Channel 1 all day, talking about the lower notes and the fees. They say they're bringing them back to give the citizens purchasing power. MNT GOAT. They have fully depegged from the US dollar, meaning the program rate will soon no longer apply. The dinar is now on an informal managed float inside Iraq. They have changed the entire structure of the currency auctions with the new electronic platform. They have moved the rate from 1450 to 1320 and now to 1132. If you read the 5 years redevelopment plan issued 5 years ago, they are right on track. Militia Man. Boots on the ground report. Guest guru Pompey Peter has a business relationship and friendship with people from some of the ministries over in Iraq and his brother. They own a business there that deals in banks. Guest guru Pompey Peter got in contact with him again yesterday morning. They have a good conversation for about 10 to 15 minutes, which is a pretty long call. At the end he says, "Peter, get with me. Bring me something before the 31st of March. We know what that means because he's expecting something just like we are. The man dealt with currency and he's a professional. He's a smart man / educated, he's kind of brilliant in the way he acts and reacts to, guest guru, Peter, because that's their culture. Pimpy? As we are all aware, Ramadan has started. We're talking about 30 days of usually nothing really gets accomplished during this time. I'm not saying it won't, but usually it doesn't. Goldilocks banking updates. Goldilocks and Seeds of Wisdom. Thank you RJ. Good morning Dinar recaps. Goldilocks posted commentaries with links. Sometimes, we have to look back for clarity to move forward. Do you remember all of the reports we have been looking over in this room from the Deutsche Bank? The ones that show you the SOFR lending services going out to countries around the world inside their banks? And now, we hear on Friday that the Deutsche Bank is under the risk of certain failures if they do not comply. As we have said before, the Deutsche Bank touches all banks around the world. The transition on the banking end is as follows: Bank failures, bank consolidations, Deutsche Bank failures. I want to point out that we have reached all three levels, but we are in process of transitioning into the new system as well. We are at a pivotal moment in time, and I am looking for a pause in interest rates at any moment. This will create a break in the system long enough for new price actions, resets, to be applied across all sectors of the market. This move from LIBOR contracts to SOFR contracts is a very pivotal point come June 30th. At that time, the transitioning part of the financial system will be over. Only collateralized, SOFR, contracts backed by digital commodity-based assets will move and liquidate our banking system going forward. Sometime between now and that date above, the entire financial system is going to go through a revaluation process. There will be some battles over currency reforms to distract us. This will mean that what we are looking for is just around the corner. It is out with the old financial protocols and in with the new asset-backed digital commodity protocols. These final changes won't come easy, but they will be worth it. Early in July, the FedNow International Payment System will launch. Coincidence? Timing? Interesting. The board of directors of the Central Bank of Iraq decides to withdraw the license of one bank and 3 exchange companies, and to stop the activity of a number of others due to violations. Iraqi News Sunday Morning Iraq Economic News Highlights. Sunday Morning Iraq Economic News Highlights March 26, 2023 Parliamentary Finance. The budget did not reach us, and its deficit is very worrying. 1053. A member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, Hussein Monis, confirmed, on Saturday, that the committee did not formally review the budget, and it did not start studying the project and reviewing it, except for what was nominated for it. Mones said in a press interview, which was seen by Takadam, that the budget reached the presidency of the council, and it has not reached the finance committee until now. He added that there has been significant inflation in the budget for 3 consecutive years. And he indicated that the government curriculum talks about balancing a program, and what we have in our hands is a budget for 3 years, and when it reaches the Parliamentary Finance Committee, it will be discussed. He added, what we care about now is the oppressed and disadvantaged classes that have suffered from marginalization, whether civilian examiners or lecturers, as well as members of the popular crowd, and we seek to include them in the 2023 budget. And he stressed that the financial deficit in the budget is very large and disturbing, which requires stopping the study of the budget and reducing the deficit significantly. Al-Sudani confirms that Iraq will continue to establish effective economic relations. Political, 5:34 March 25, 2023 Baghdad, Mawazin News. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani affirmed today, Saturday, that Iraq will continue to establish effective economic relations that contribute to the construction of infrastructure and open the doors of investment and partnership to all friends. The media office of the Prime Minister stated in a statement, a copy of which was received by Mawazin News, that al-Sudani received a phone call from French President Emmanuel Macron, noting that the contact witnessed discussions between the two sides on ways to strengthen bilateral relations, continue work and economic partnership and expand it for what it is in the interest of both countries. Al-Sudani assured the French president, Iraq will continue to establish effective economic relations that contribute to the construction of infrastructure, and open the doors of investment and partnership to all friends, within an effective economic and service program. The French president praised, according to the statement, the growing relations between the two friendly countries, in various fields, and the increasing level of cooperation towards building economic partnerships that contribute to achieving mutual interests, in a way that enhances the development path of the two countries and the prosperity of their peoples. Iraq lost more than $20 billion due to the delay in signing the 5th licensing round for oil fields. Deputy 4, Nina / Saturday, March 25, 2023 1822, economical number of readings, 469 cut, Nina, a member of the Parliamentary Oil Committee, MP for Wasat, Bassem Gaimesh al-Garabawi, confirmed that the delay in the procedure for signing the 5th licensing round for joint oil fields with neighboring countries caused losses to Iraq that exceeded $20 billion. Al-Garabawi told the National Iraqi News Agency, NINA, that the countries sharing with Iraq in these fields, Iran and Kuwait, worked to invest the resources of the fields over the years, which caused these losses. He added that this tour was supposed to be the first or the second, due to its importance in enhancing the national economy of Iraq's almost complete dependence on oil revenues. It's over. Parliamentary efforts to include a budget for social welfare. Iraq, March 26, 2023. Muhammad Abdul Wahab. Parliamentary committees and the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs are concerted efforts to reach all beneficiaries covered by the social protection system, according to instructions issued by the government after a field survey for the purpose of involving families who were unable to apply through the electronic form. The head of the Social Protection Authority in the ministry, Ahmed Al-Musawi, said, "The field survey procedures have reached the third stage, with the number of applicants amounting to more than 1,700,000 families," noting that the authority began to reach 17 districts, and the field teams moved to 57 districts, and after completing the budget process will implement procedures to include the poorest districts, as we have decided to move to all regions. Al-Musawi added, in an interview with Al-Sabah, that the goal is to reach the poor areas after we put in our plans many areas, including 70 districts, explaining that our goal is to reach families who could not submit electronically and had not previously submitted an electronic form. On this basis, the campaign will continue until next week, after we were able to reach 500,000 families and enter them into the database. The head of the Social Protection Authority added that the current goal within the next 4 months is to complete the field survey procedures for families, pointing out that the number of participating researchers in Baghdad and the governorates has reached 2,000 social researchers with the addition of 400 social researchers, while we will witness the participation of 2,500 additional social researcher. Al-Musawi stated, "The social research process continues until the completion of the form for all applicants, in addition to the field survey work, and for this we are awaiting the approval of the general budget to launch the first group of those covered by the social protection system." In turn, Ibtisam al-Halali, a member of the Women, Family and Childhood Committee and a member of the Legal Committee, said that allocations for those covered by social care amounted to 7 trillion dinars, noting that the government's approach is focused on caring for this segment. And al-Halali continued, in an interview with Al-Sabah, that the Women's and Legal Committees support the ministry to meet the requests and needs of citizens from the elderly, divorced, widows, the disabled, and those who need a social care salary in the budget, and we are looking for a special budget for the Ministry of Labor to support those who are eligible in the network. Social welfare. Parliament is looking for resources to bridge the budget deficit of 64 trillion dinars economy. March 26, 2023, 10:08, number of readings, 180. Baghdad, Iraq. Today, the Parliamentary Finance Committee revealed 4 resources that contribute to bridging the 2023 budget deficit, which amounts to 64 trillion dinars. Committee member Moeen Al-Kazemi said, "The investment of associated and free gas was discussed during the visit of Prime Minister Mohammed al-Sudani to Germany and France, noting that there is a great desire of the European Union to enter this sector and work to deliver it to Europe through pipelines through Turkey." Al-Kadimi added, "Treating associated gas and benefiting from it instead of burning it over the past decades is a priority today," pointing out that exploiting associated gas needs more time and cannot be included in the 2023 budget as revenues, but will need financial allocations to rehabilitate and control it, and thus associated gas can be included in the imports of 2024 and 2025 in order for Iraq to dispense with importing gas from neighboring countries. Regarding the budget for the current year, he explained that the deficit is in the range of 64 trillion Iraqi dinars, as the Ministry of Finance presented the budget, including an offer to cover the deficit through 4 resources, explaining that the first resource is the difference between the actual oil sale price with the price approved in the budget of $70. While it is sold for $80, here $10 is a financial abundance that can increase revenues from 146 to higher. He added, "The second resource is the possibility of exporting an additional 200,000 barrels of oil, which is another source instead of 3,700,000 barrels, in addition to the financial abundance of the state treasury from previous years, and there are approximately more than 20 trillion dinars that can be used as financial abundance, loans, and others. The deficit can be covered from it," pointing out that the Finance Committee will work to reduce the deficit, because the budget was drawn up for 3 years and negative possibilities such as the drop in the oil price must be taken into account, and for this the operational budget can be reduced and the investment budget supported, with a period of study in the House of Representatives that may exceed 45 days in the long term. Regarding the funds of the Emergency Food Security Law and the follow-up of their disbursement, he indicated that some of the law's funds were dispersed and others are still in the government's accounts, and there are 9 trillion Iraqi dinars allocated for the development of the regions and were not spent in 2022 because time was limited. Baghdad today, Sunday, the exchange rates of the dollar against the dinar recorded a significant decrease in exchange shops in the capital, Baghdad. The Baghdad Today correspondent said, the Al-Khifa and Al-Harithiyya stock exchanges recorded an exchange rate of 154,200 dinars for every $100. He added, the exchange rates of the dollar decreased in exchange shops and local markets in Baghdad, where the selling price reached 155,000, while the purchase price reached 153,500 for every $100. Link the decline in gold prices in the markets of Baghdad and its stability in the markets of Erbil. Foreign and Iraqi gold prices decreased in the local markets in the capital, Baghdad, while they stabilized in the markets of Erbil, the capital of the Kurdistan region, today, Sunday, March 26, 2023. Also, the gold prices in the wholesale markets on Al-Nar Street in the capital, Baghdad, recorded this morning. The selling price for 121 carat weight of Gulf, Turkish and European gold was 423,000 dinars, and the purchase price was 419,000 dinars, while the selling prices for yesterday, Saturday, were 428,000 dinars for one weight. In addition, the selling price of 121 carat weight of Iraqi gold also recorded stability at 393,000 dinars, and the purchase price reached 389,000. With regard to gold prices in goldsmiths' shops, the selling price of the 21 carat Gulf gold weight ranges between 425,000 dinars and 435,000, while the selling price of the Iraqi gold weight ranged between 395,000 and 405,000 dinars. As for gold prices in Erbil, they have stabilized, as the price of 24 carat gold sold 495,000 dinars, 22 carat recorded 455,000 dinars, 21 carat sold 440,000 dinars, while 18 carat sold 370,000 dinars. Al-Daraji, the government's measures stopped the exchange rates plan to reach 200,000 dinars. Money and Business Economy News, Baghdad. The technical advisor to the Prime Minister, Mohammed Sahib al-Daraji, considered that the measures taken by the government stopped the scheme for the dollar exchange rate to reach 200,000 dinars for every $100. Al-Daraji said in a televised interview, followed by Al-Iqtisad News, that the budget will be annual in terms of revenues and expenditures, noting that the budget is directed towards the health, education and energy sectors. He added, the exchange rate was the main reason for the delay in sending the budget, explaining that half of the deficit in the budget is due to the conversion of the exchange rate. Al-Daraji went on to say that the government's measures stopped the scheme for the exchange rate to reach 200,000 dinars, for every $100. Al-Abadi, the violations of the U.S. Army in Iraq are massive and were the root of the problems today. 1028 Information, Baghdad. Former Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi accused, on Sunday, the U.S. Army of committing grave crimes against humanity in Iraq, indicating that America occupied Iraq without implementing its promises regarding its reconstruction plan and floundering a lot in decisions. Al-Abadi said in a televised interview, followed by Al-Maluma, that the plan for the reconstruction of Iraq after the occupation by the American side has been completely absent, which indicates the confusion of the American decisions towards Baghdad. He added, after the invasion of Iraq, we discovered that there was no plan for the reconstruction of the country after the war, and its forces caused a major violation of human rights against Iraqis, which caused successive crises other than the democratic claim and freedom. He explained that terrorism has caused successive disasters and crises, causing double problems in Iraq and delaying any economic, political and developmental reforms in the country for 20 years. Baghdad, Mawazin News, a member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, Hussein Monis, confirmed, on Sunday, that his committee has set a schedule to host the ministries and concerned authorities in order to find out the allocations allocated in the budget for each ministry. Moan said, one of the core of his committee's work is to discuss the allocations allocated in the budget, noting that some ministries believe that their budgets are inappropriate or inconsistent with the ministerial curriculum adopted by the government.